In this video, I want to explore how children in early years learn maths best when they're moving and playing. So if you have a good play-based approach, children are going to learn and develop their maths through play-based or movement-based activities. Now I'd like to give you a few ideas and explain to you how it works and how each activity really helps children develop their mathematics skills and how it underpins mathematical acquisition or maths acquisition. Right, I'm going to start with one of my favorite activities for maths acquisition is building dens. Now this could be building dens inside or outside, but I'm going to talk about building a den outside because hey, children can never be outside enough. So when children are building a den outside, they are looking at all types of sizes and shapes. So they're looking at how many sticks do they need to build the den, what size the den needs to be, what shape it needs to be, how big it needs to be to fit all the children in it. There's lots and lots of things going on there. And then also how they're going to fit everything together to make it work. So there's a lot of mathematics going on when children are building dens. So that's the first one I wanted to talk about. Now the next activity is climbing. So when children are climbing trees or when they're climbing any kind of structure, there's a lot of positional understanding going on there. So it's how they need to go in, out, over, through, around, etc. to get to the top or wherever they're trying to get to. It helps them to understand spatial awareness, so how they fit into it. And then of course there's a lot of height, distance, through, etc. So a lot of that's going on. So a lot of mathematical concepts are in play when children are climbing. Now activities where children need to repeat movements, you know, things like obstacle courses where they have to do things over and over again, or follow the leader games, you know, Simon Says, anything like that. This is a great way for children to learn about patterns and sequencing, which is important for maths. So an activity where there's a lot of patterns, repetition, so there's patterns and sequencing, that's where children actually naturally are learning this important maths concept. Then the next activity I want to talk about is big 10 frames. So, you know, 10 frames are great way to teach children about numbers. However, let's make them big if we can. So if you have a big outdoor area or somewhere where you can draw 10 frames, you know, outside with chalk or with tape, if you have to do it inside, etc. And then the children can be the numbers, and you can think about different games that you already play and how you can use those games in a tens frame. Or it could just be about children being specific numbers and they are going on and off the tens frames as and when you ask them. So make it big, make it fun. Next thing is construction play. So when children are using construction toys or just natural material to construct something, they are learning about how things need to fit together, size, shape, etc. And of course there will be problem solving. So construction play is really, really good for maths acquisition. And what about food growing? Now food growing is so good for so many reasons. However, don't forget about the fact it's great, it's really important for maths. We have sequencing, we have size, we have shape, we have comparing size, we have what happens first, what happens next, what happens last. You know, there's just so much maths discussion, but also concepts going on in food growing. So that's a really great way. So just remember to think about maths anytime you do food growing. And one of my favorite activities with young children is active nursery rhymes or big nursery rhymes. So any nursery rhyme you know and the children love, make them big. Get them up, make their actions big and energetic, and then they're going to be moving, they're going to have fun, they're going to play, they're not going to be sitting down just singing, they're going to move. And like an activity earlier, this is really a good one for patterns and sequencing as well, but it can also be really good for rhythm. But we'll talk about that in another video. So yeah, active nursery rhymes is a great activity for patterns and sequencing. When children are playing cooperative or competitive games, get them keeping score. Keeping score is a great way for teaching numbers, counting, etc. So that's a fun way for children to, well, for easy and fun way for you to include an element of maths into all types of games, really. Then we have sorting. So it could be when you're tidying up. When you're tidying up at the end of the day or before lunchtime, children will be sorting different things, the resources or toys that they've been playing with, and this will obviously helps children classify, figure out what goes where. But there could also be an element of, oh, how many of that, how many of that, etc. And then of course when they're outside, they can be doing lots of different sorting on their own back, figuring out what they want, etc. So sorting is a great way for children to learn mathematical concepts. And I'm going to end this video with my favorite, movement to music. Lots and lots of movement to music, any kind of music that children love, or music that you find really enjoyable or that they respond to. Get them moving, and children learn things like weight, height, etc. So high, medium, low, weight, by tiptoeing around to something light and stomping really hard. These are also aspects that are relevant to maths. So movement to music is great. You'll find in a lot of my videos, when it comes to activity ideas, I'm going to refer to movement to music, because it really does help children learn so much, and it's so much fun. So those are just a few ideas of how children develop their mathematical skills when they're moving, when they're active, when they're playing, and when they're having fun. So they're probably engaged, and we all know an engaged child is a child learning, and a happy child learning and developing. So check down below for more information and links, and I hope you found that useful, and please also share any of your great ideas.